Hello everyone, I am Srinivas. Welcome to today's video lecture on how to calculate break-even point analysis using graphical method and mathematical model. Let me start with the break-even point analysis. This content is available in my blogger asksrinivas.blogspot.com. In that, this is a file where available in my blogger. The same file is available here. This is a mathematical model formula. First, let me start with the introduction part of the break-even point analysis. So what do you mean by break-even point in general? What is BEP? So break-even point is a point where a firm is not getting any profit and not getting any loss. This is also simply called as no profit and no loss area. No profit and no loss area is called as break-even point. From formula wise, so how to say that break-even point? When the total revenue is greater than total cost, firm gets profit. When the total revenue is less than total cost, firm gets losses. When the total revenue is equal to total cost, this is called as break-even point. So basically, to calculate the break-even point, we have two methods available, break-even point methods. So two methods available. One is graphical method, another one is mathematical model. So in the mathematical model we use the formula. This is also called as algebraic model. So in the graphical model we use the inputs like the total revenue, total cost, it includes fixed cost and variable cost, and also we use selling price and number of units. So using the total revenue, total cost, selling price and number of units, we form a schedule. With the help of the schedule we find the break-even point area with the help of the number, and after finding of the break-even point, and we convert that schedule in the form of graphical form using total revenue and total cost. Where the total revenue and the total cost lines are intersecting each other, that point is called as break-even point. So let me draw the break-even point area. Before that, let me take the some examples here. So first we are using the graphical model So in the graphical model, or graphical method, first we have to form the schedule where units, take the units first, start with a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. And after that, to calculate the total cost, we need to first take the fixed cost, assumed figures. Let us take the fixed cost for this example. We'll take 500 rupees. No matter how many number of units you are producing, you have to pay the same amount of money. Fixed cost remains constant for every level of output. Fixed cost includes the rent for the office building, salaries for the administrative staff, interest on borrowed funds. And whereas variable cost, in terms of units, variable cost per unit, variable cost includes raw material cost, direct labor cost, other direct expenses or overhead expenses on the production. Per unit 100 rupees. When no products are manufactured, the variable cost is 0. When you start producing first unit, the variable cost is 100. One unit, to produce 1 unit you have to spend 100 rupees. To produce 2 units, 200. Like that, 300, 400, 500. So the total cost here, fixed cost plus variable cost, is equal to total cost. 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 and 1000. So coming to the total revenue. So total revenue can be calculated with the help of the number of units already available here and selling price. So to find out the total revenue, Q into selling price. So here the selling price, here I am fixing the selling price as the selling is 225 rupees. Here I am assuming the selling price as 225 rupees per unit. So the total revenue at no units produced, at 0 units the total revenue is 0. For first unit it is 225 rupees, and whereas the second unit 2 into 225, 450, ₹450, and for 3 units 3 into 225, 675. At 4 units 900. At 5 units 1125. If you want to take more number of units also we can continue it, but in this example I have taken only 5 units. Now with the help of this we have to identify where a firm is getting profit and where the firm is getting loss and what is the break-even point area. With the help of the total revenue and total cost lines, this point up to this point from first unit to third unit, where the total revenue is total cost. Here if you take total cost is greater than total revenue, even 600 is greater than 225, 700 is greater than 450. So when the total cost is greater than total revenue or total revenue is greater than less than the total cost, firm gets losses. And this area, see where the total cost is 900, the total revenue is also 900, this point is called as break-even point. So once this point is crossed, from 50 unit firm is getting profit. Even we can extend here at 6th unit, 7th unit, 8 units also we can extend it, no issue on that. And here 600, 700, 800, 1100, 1200, 1300. Similarly, total revenue also we can extend it at 6th unit, 6 into 225, 1350. At 7 units, 7 into 225, 1575. At 8 units, 8 into 225, 1800. So this point above the break-even point is considered as profit. So this can be converted in the form of diagram. If you take the y-axis and x-axis here, this is y-axis, you can take y-axis, and this is x-axis. So always we can take number of units on y-axis. So number of units on x-axis, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and take cost and revenue on the y-axis. And we know that number of units are 8 here. You can take here interval as 2 units, 4 units, or else you can take directly that units as a 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 5, 6, 7 and 8 units. In the only we have to draw the total cost and total revenue lines. The minimum point in this two cost and revenue the minimum point is 225 and maximum is 1800, and we can take it as 200 as a interval. 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1400, 1600 and 1800. So in this point, first the total cost line, we have to draw the total cost line. So started from 500. This is total cost line. Here the total cost line can take from this point. Sorry. $500. This is the point total cost line. This is the total cost line, and total revenue line starts from origin here. Before that, first we need to identify the point where the total revenue at fourth unit at 900, fourth unit this is a point where a firm is not getting any profit and loss, and take this point so we can identify the points. This is called as total cost line. This is total revenue. So this point is considered as break-even point. This is loss area, and this is profit area. So this is a graphical method, all of you. So the same data we can use for calculating of the mathematical model. Using of the formula, we can find out a break-even point using the same data. Use it. Using the same data, we find out the break-even point area using mathematical model. So in the mathematical model, we use various formulas to find out the break-even point. So first we use a break-even point in terms of units. We use this formula, fixed cost by contribution in terms of units. So how to calculate the contribution? We know that fixed cost directly given. Contribution can be calculated using this equation: selling price or sales minus variable cost. Alternatively, we can calculate contribution fixed cost plus profit. So we can form an equation, that is contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost is equal to fixed cost plus profit. This is an equation. So using this equation, if there any input, if you want to find out with the help of the existing inputs, and we can by forming of this equation, we can find out any of the item. So let us start with how to calculate the break-even point. Already for the same data, we have identified the break-even point area. At 4 units, firm is not getting any profit, any loss. That is break-even point. So using this formula, we will find out the total fixed cost in this sum. In this schedule is given 500 rupees divided by the contribution. We can use this contribution is equal to the selling price 225 rupees and variable cost per unit 100 rupees. Finally, the contribution is 125 rupees. So 500 divided by 125. 500 divided by 125, we are getting 4. 4 means what here? 4 units. Exactly in the above schedule, at 4 units, the total cost is 900 and the total revenue is also 900. And using the same data, the break-even point in terms of rupees or value, also called as total value. We can also calculate break-even point in terms of rupees or value. So using this formula, fixed cost into sales by contribution, C. So first of all, this data, when the data is in terms of value only, we can use this formula. So we have to convert the entire unit data. We need to convert the unit data into value. Then only we can use this formula. For the above schedule, the total output as per the above table, the total number of units produced, 8 units is the output. The output is 8 units according to the above schedule. So first we use the total fixed cost 500 into sales. sales is different from selling price per unit. When you to find out the sales, simply selling price into Q. So Q means total output is Q. So the selling price per unit in this sum 225 into total number of units produced 8 divided by the contribution. Similarly, contribution also same. Sales contribution means selling sales 225 into 8 minus variable cost. Even variable cost also we need to convert in terms of value. Variable cost per unit 100 into for 8 units. So 500 into, first we calculate 225 into 8. We are getting 1800 is a total sales or total revenue divided by save 1800 minus 100 into 8 800, and we need to go for one more step. 500 into 1800 divided by 1000, and we know that 500 ones are 500 twos are, and 1800 divided by 2 nines are means 900 rupees. For the above sum, the total break-even point units 4 units, and the second formula in after converting of the data units into value, we can apply this formula, or as simply break-even point units 4 units and the selling price per unit 225, and if you use it 225 into 4, we get the 900 rupees. So using these alternative formulas we can find out the break-even point. And one more item, third one, PV ratio. So PV ratio is also PV ratio means profit volume ratio. This can be calculated using this formula, contribution by sales into 100. So we know that the contribution per unit, according to that, if the data is in terms of units, the contribution is 125 according to the first sum, 125. Selling price you can take here. The selling price is 225 into 100, and here simply 125 divided by 225 and into 100, finally we are getting 55.55 means we can finally take 55.56%. Now even with the help of the PV ratio also we can calculate the break-even point. So break-even point using PV ratio, so fixed cost by PV ratio. So what is the fixed cost in this sum? 500, and PV ratio should be taken in terms of decimals only. We have to take the final value 55.56 divided by 100, so 0.556. So finally 500 divided by 0.556, and we are getting around 899. And if you are taking exactly, if you want to calculate the exact figure, so whatever the value we got it here, say 125 divided by 225. Now we got 0.5, exactly 500 divided by 0. Or as exact value if you take it. So exactly we are 899.99 means can take 900 rupees. So this is about PV ratio. With the help of the PV ratio also we can find out the break-even point. The next one, with the help of the existing sums, say here using this sums here, from the following data calculate the break-even point. See exactly this data in terms of units, where we can use exactly this formula, fixed cost by contribution. The fixed cost is given 2 lakhs divided by contribution. So selling price minus variable cost, 50 minus 30, 20, simply 10,000 units. Right. The next one, this data is, we are required to find out the profit using this data, and before that, to find out the profit we are required to have a total revenue. We know the total output in this given 1,50,000. To find out the total revenue output into selling price, 1,50,000 into 15. So simply we are getting here 1,50,000 units into 15 rupees per unit, we are getting 22,50,000. The 22,50,000 is the total revenue, where we need to subtract the total cost. First we have the fixed cost in this sum, 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs is a fixed cost. This is fixed cost, and variable cost given as 10 rupees per unit. 10 into total output is 1,50,000 into 10, 15 lakhs. The total cost here 20 lakhs. The total revenue is 22,50,000. The value we are getting is 2,50,000. 2,50,000 is a profit because total revenue is greater than total cost. So like that, these are the simple sums we can find out. So all of you, any kind of doubts here, you feel free to raise the doubts through using this blogger. This is my blogger page, asksrinivas.blogspot.com. Simply go to Google and then type simply Ask Srinivas. Open this. If you have any questions, queries related to all the event, you can download the management related content, predefined sums, assignments, important questions can download through this platform. If you have personally any queries, you can ask the questions through this by giving your name and email ID and your questions, and I directly get the question and I'll answer the questions through mail. So thank you one and all, and we'll meet in the next platform.